Muslims have always claimed that not one letter is changed. The Quran is perfectly preserved, memorized in the hearts of the believing Muslims. Is that so? Is there a possibility that the scribes of Muhammad did not pay attention when they wrote the Quran and corrupted certain verses? In the past, we showed you multiple examples, but today I will present for you a new error, a different reading that I found created by a scribe of Muhammad when he was not paying attention. The scribe made a grave error when he wrote the verse in chapter 24, ayah 27. Pay attention to the following Arabic word, tasta'nisu, which means to announce your presence when you arrive at some place. Now let us go to Tafsir al-Tabari to prove to all of you that today's Quran is corrupted by one of the scribes. We read that Ibn Abbas, the cousin of Muhammad and Habr al-Ummah, used to read it as tasta'dhinu and not as tasta'nisu. And the reason for that is that the mistake is from the scribes. So Ibn Abbas used to read it as وَتَسْتَأْذِنُ, to ask permission. And Ibn Abbas continued saying, وَقَالَ إِنَّمَا هِيَ خَطَأٌ مِنَ الْكَاتِبِ حَتَّى تَسْتَأْذِنُوا وَتُسَلِّمُوا. Translation, Ibn Abbas said it's a mistake from the scribe. He made a mistake and wrote تَسْتَأْنِسُ, meaning announcing your presence. The correct word, according to Ibn Abbas, should have been تَسْتَأْذِنُوا, to ask permission from the homeowners, and not to announce your presence. And we also read that Ibn Abbas said that the scribe made a mistake, and Ibn Abbas used to read it as حَتَّى تَسْتَأْذِنُوا وَتُسَلِّمُوا, and he used to read it because it was the reading of Ubay ibn Ka'b, which means that today's Hafs version of the Quran cannot and will never be the original Quran of Ubay ibn Ka'b, who was among the 4 top readers of the Quran. At-Tabari's tafsir also explains that Abdullah ibn Mas'ud's Mus'haf was way different. Not only did Ibn Mas'ud's Mus'haf agree with Ibn Abbas, his version of the word, but also the order of the sentence was different. We read that Ibn Mas'ud's Quran said, حَتَّى تُسَلِّمُوا عَلَى أَهْلِهَا وَتَسْتَأْذِنُوا, versus today's Hafs Quran. Let's hear it.
حتى تستأنسوا وتسلموا على أهلها.
Wow, you heard the differences between the Ibn Mas'ud's qira'ah, which is totally different than the Hafs version that Muslims have today. As you see, the Muslims of today use the wrong Quran version, which is the Hafs version that has all of these multiple grave errors or mistakes in just one ayah. You Muslims have the wrong Quran that has many holes in it. Wait, didn't Allah say if this Quran is not from God, then you'll find many mistakes or contradictions in it? Oh boy. So as you see, Ibn Abbas admits that he used to read it differently. I have some questions for our Muslim friends. Which is the correct reading on the heavenly tablets of Allah? And how did this scribe corrupt the verse if the Quran was memorized by many Sahaba? And why, oh why, did they not fix the mistake knowing there is a mistake in this very verse? Did Allah lie when He said that no one can change His words? Uh-oh. There goes the so-called Quranic preservation down the drain where it belongs. As you see, the meaning is not the same, and there's a huge difference between announcing your presence to the homeowners versus asking permission to enter someone's house. So Muslims, stop lying by claiming that all the qira'at are the same. No, they are not. The differences in the qira'at actually prove that the Quran has been corrupted and tampered with in the time of Muhammad and the Sahaba. The corruption of the Quran started in the hands of the very first scribes who did not pay attention when they wrote the Quran after Muhammad. That's a disaster on itself. The Sahaba like Ibn Abbas, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud and Ubay ibn Ka'b used to read it differently.